When did you realize someone was all bark? This happened at my job downtown, in one of those fancy glass and marble law offices where every step echoes and the coffee costs more than your lunch. I worked admin, filing, and running errands mostly, and the unspoken rule was, don't mess with Peter. Peter was the CEO, and the kind of guy who didn't walk so much as storm down hallways, barking into his phone and refusing to make eye contact with anyone. Everyone, lawyers, HR, even partners, were terrified of him. He had this habit of blowing up in meetings for no reason. Like, one time an intern gave him lukewarm coffee and Peter just snapped, yelling about how no one respected his time. Another time, he ripped into his assistant, who was 7 months pregnant, for a tiny typo in an email. She literally stood there crying while he ranted about attention to detail, and no one ever said a thing. HR? Nope. The high-rolling lawyers? Silent. The damn partners? Heads down like school kids in the principal's office. I worked there for 8 months and the guy only ever grunted at me. Once when I said good morning, and once when I stepped aside to let him through a door. Everyone tried to avoid him. If he was in the elevator, we took the stairs. If he was in the break room, we ate at our desks. He had this power over the place that made him feel untouchable. Then came Luis. Luis was the quiet older guy who cleaned the offices at night. He'd been there a decade, didn't speak much English, but he was always kind, always smiling, always polite. Most of us didn't really know him though, since he worked nights, until one Thursday. I stayed late that day finishing up paperwork. Just as I was packing up, I heard shouting. The elevator had broken down, and guess who was trapped inside with Peter? Luis. Apparently the elevator got stuck between floors. Security was scrambling, trying to fix it, and that's when we realized. The elevator had audio and video surveillance, and everything going on inside was being heard live at the security desk. Peter went full meltdown. He started screaming at Luis, blaming him for the elevator breaking, like he personally installed it or something. Told him to pry the doors open with his hands. Luis was trying to explain, very calmly, that he didn't know anything about fixing elevators. Peter didn't care. He started calling him names, berating him, saying he was stupid and useless. Luis was panicking, sweating, breathing heavy. You could hear it in his voice, see it on the screen. The guy was practically having a panic attack. Peter, he kept going. Told Luis if he died in there, it better not be Peter's problem. Said he wasn't worth the paperwork. Like, what kind of psycho says that? Then, boom, Luis collapses, drops right to the floor. That's when Peter lost it. And I mean, lost it. He went from monster to mess in 5 seconds. Started sobbing, begging for help, slamming every elevator button he could find. Kept screaming that he was sorry, over and over. Suddenly, he was the victim. Emergency crews got them out 40 minutes later. Luis was okay, just severely dehydrated and scared out of his mind. But the footage? Security had it all, and someone leaked it straight to the board of directors. Turns out, they'd been looking for a way to get rid of Peter for years without a lawsuit. That tape? It was the golden ticket. Friday afternoon, Peter got called into a meeting. By Monday, gone. No announcement, no goodbye. 10 years of tyranny, just erased in a weekend. And here's the best part. Luis got promoted. Apparently, he'd been running the cleaning crew behind the scenes forever, fixing schedules, covering for sick co-workers, organizing everything. They made him supervisor. Dude went from invisible janitor to boss in 1 week flat. All because Peter finally cracked in front of the one guy no one expected.